Next exercise is the Patrick step up. If you've ever seen the movie Idiocracy, I feel like the guy from that movie that I had to invent doing this. This should be a staple exercise. You're seeing athletes like LeBron doing this now. You're seeing most of the top jumpers in the world are doing this exercise. It's simply, instead of a step up, which has been used like crazy for many, many years, and there are different forms of like heel elevated reverse step ups, but they're all quite tricky and not as conducive to just getting the muscles strong that protect the knee. Now, how do you know if you're doing it right? You should have no pain in the knee joint. The goal is to get to a 6-inch box. And I want to point out, I bought each of these for $1.28. And you can use a book. There's all kinds of stuff you could use for this. What makes this exercise unique is that you only go down to the heel of the bottom foot. That ensures you're not pushing off with the bottom foot. So you're only lowering down under control to your heel. So if you go here and you have to drop, then you know you're going too high. You can really only screw up this exercise by starting too high or trying to add too much weight. So you should start at body weight. You're gonna do 5 sets of 10 to 20 reps per leg, meaning if you were to do 20 and not really feel anything, then you probably could add some height or some load to increase difficulty. You should always, no matter how strong you get, you should start your sessions just body weight at a pain-free height. So once you are doing 6-inch box, I'll mix it up here so I'm not getting imbalanced. Then, if this is getting easy for 20 reps, then you could start adding some weight, and I'll show you some ways for that. And I want to point out, when you send in your form video on this, I want you to shoot it from a side angle, because if your if your hip joint is behind your ankle joint at the bottom, I'm not saying it's a bad exercise, but it means you're not actually putting the load onto those knee muscles. There's no ego in this. If you work with zero pain, doing only what your muscles can handle, this isn't a theoretical knee strengthening program. I didn't used to have any, there was no muscle right here, and I've just patiently applied simple strength training principles to strengthening when the knee is over the toe. Your knees are gonna go over toe. You can't even go up and down stairs without your knee over your toe. So this is simply turning that into a strength exercise. So I want you to think about the long-term implications of patiently working your strength. There's two sides of the knee ability program. One side of it is just getting out of pain, and that's cool. But another side is, what if all your years of training, what if you had just never through pain been working on the ability of the muscles that protect your knees? That's all we're doing. That's why this program already has more results than any other program. Now, with this exercise, you want to strengthen to the task. And what I mean by that is, if you just want to live pain-free and you don't do any sports, probably just a 6-inch box, I found, with your own body weight should be enough for life. But say you want to be a professional dunker or something with that much force, then I find you need to add load. A really simple way is by putting sand in a backpack, or if you have weights, you can put it in a backpack. This would be a really simple way of adding load. And I'll show one more little thing here, which is you're gonna turn your toe just slightly out, which is gonna give you a little more balance and attention through this muscle right here. And you're gonna track your knee straight out over your toes. And some people say, oh, well, it goes in or it goes out. No, it just means you're starting too high. Start lower and then go right over. No one can't do this exercise, even if you have to start on a 2-inch box with something to the inside of you and work it here. So I've never trained anyone who couldn't do this, because if you can even walk into the gym, you can start strengthening, but you're staying on one leg, you're applying control down, you're turning it into a strength movement. The same reason that picking up a pencil doesn't make your bicep a bodybuilder, but progressively overloading it, you keep getting stronger. So this is one way to add resistance. Another way is with buckets, which are very common. I put 50 pounds of sand in each bucket and have about 80 pounds in the backpack. So now I can load my own body weight in additional load. Oh, this is a fun balance challenge. Notice I'm not cheating by using my foot at the top. if you think to yourself, oh, I have the strength, just not the balance, you're wrong. This muscle, that's its job. It gives you your balance. So if you can't balance, it means you need to lower the weight. But I'm gonna push through here for the sake of the video. So you can see I can control it down. I'm not reaching my hip back. I'm not having to balance at the top. I'll get a few more here. So, less than $5 for sand. The buckets are like practically free. Everyone has a backpack. There's gonna be some way, you can probably even find places where you can acquire some sand. So, I've given you a pretty good tutorial there on the Patrick step up. Last little tip to think about is, think about a 10,000 rule. So, if you're to do your 5 sets of 10 to 20, and if you're to do it 2-3 times a week, that means in the 9 month to 3, depends how often you're doing it, but basically 1 to 2 years roughly, you'll get about 10,000 of these in. If you do 10,000 never working through pain, you're now gonna get a total transformation of the area. So short term, I've had people, holy crap, I'm 1 week in and my pain is gone. That's awesome, but you have to make this part of a lifestyle, and you have to have a full commitment to never working through pain, only working at the level you can do that day. It's a long-term thing that happens to have some short-term results.